Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and tonight we're going to talk about map individuality in Jurassic World Evolution and map size and stuff like that, addressing some common complaints. Those of you with eyeballs, which I hope is most of you, will see that this is Planet Coaster, of course, and not Jurassic World Evolution, and not just some still images like usual, and there is a very good reason why we are looking right now at Planet Coaster that will become apparent later on into the video, other than it just being, you know, fairly bloody gorgeous. But actually what's happening right now is a really good reason I'm doing this in Planet Coaster, one of two, and that's we can see this is dusk. This is nighttime approaching. You know, it's been bright and the sun is starting to go down, all the lights are coming on, dusk is approaching and night is approaching. And now this is one of the more common complaints in Jurassic World Evolution, and it's one of the two that I want to address, the day-night cycle. So for those who are unaware, in Jurassic World Evolution, bloody Nora, in Jurassic World Evolution, every island has its own set time of day. At least the 5 deaths, the 5 main islands. Isla Metanceros is in the middle of the day. Isla Penna, as far as we know, is set perpetually at nighttime. One of the others is a dawn/dusk, orangey kind of hue, like we just saw on Planet Coaster just there. And the other two will have their own as well. We don't know what goes on in Isla Nublar. It could well have a day-night cycle, we don't know. But we know those 5 islands are set to the same time of day. And people have a problem with this, which is fair enough. Everyone's got a right to complain. I will say the people who say it's because of laziness are probably off point. At the end of the day, it's not hard to integrate a day-night cycle, especially when you've already made the lighting for all those different times of day. I do think the day-night cycle, or lack thereof, is a very purposeful choice, and I'm going to try to sort of explain why. Jurassic World Evolution, unlike pretty much every single park builder, zoo game, blah 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 in history, has 5 to 6 different islands. You look at JPOG, it was one island all the time. You look at Zoo Tycoon and stuff, you'd have one big map, but they weren't connected. It wasn't a string. It wasn't the difference between Jurassic World Evolution and all those other park builders is the actual sense of progression through maps. You complete one map to unlock the other. It feels more like an actual campaign. And that's like a very active choice by the developers. But the problem with that is, if you then have proper day-night cycles, how do you make those 5 islands feel individual? Of course they're going to have slightly different shapes and sizes and such, and sizes is something we're going to cover in a minute, but the day-night cycle is clearly there to make each island feel like it's individual, like it's got its own personality. You know, Penna at nighttime is also the smallest island. It's meant to be threatening, hard to build on, and a challenge. And I understand why people want a day-night cycle, but I would suggest that Isla Nublar may well have one for a start, we don't know, but that there's a very good reason why they don't, because if you're going to play 5 islands which are all the same basic terrain, sort of all green, etc, etc, where's that sense of unlocking something new and exciting when you move on to a new island? Yeah, you might unlock some more stuff in the research trees, etc. We don't know how that's going to work for sure. But the point is, each new island should feel like a new gameplay experience, and having an entirely different set of lighting is definitely going to help out with that a lot. I really don't think it's Frontier's laziness or anything, because at the end of the day, it probably, if anything, it might have been easier to just make a quick day-night cycle and apply it blanketly to every single island. It's very clearly done for a purpose. And whilst I understand people may not like that idea, or like their theory behind it, I personally actually see the reasoning, and I think the islands would have blended together a little bit too much if that perpetual time of day was not in place. So I just wanted to kind of address that quickly. The other thing, the main thing I want to talk about, this is a lovely looking park, isn't it, is people keep bitching about the, and bitching is the right word I'm afraid, about the size of the islands. Now I want to say this quickly as well. Everyone has the right to criticise. People do not have to be as optimistic about me, as optimistic as I am about Jurassic World Evolution at all. If people have problems or theories or, you know, things they want to see changed and stuff like that, that's absolutely more than acceptable. You know, I would never have a problem with that. I'm just going to move on to a different train. Okay, we'll go from the start again. That's absolutely fine. I'm not trying to dissuade that at all. I'm just trying to explain the thought processes that have gone into the game, at least as far as I can tell. So people keep complaining about map size, which inherently I think is silly because we've seen the map size of one island. And yes, you can't build over the entire island, but it was a decent size, and it was like a middle ground one. Metanceros is probably a medium-sized island. We know that Isla Sorna is going to be the biggest, at least out of the 5. Isla Penna is going to be the smallest. Now, Isla Penna, it actually says in the description, or Tucano, I can't actually remember off the top of my head, that you will, oh look at the little raptor cages, that you will not, oh, and the raptor hatchery. Wait, is that a raptor hatchery? Is that the Indominus Rex paddock? That's very cool. That you will not be able to have every dinosaur in your park. You're going to be limited. You're not going to be able to fill the parks. And I keep seeing people complaining about that. They feel that they should be able to have every dinosaur in every park. But again, that arises the same problem in all your parks. If you've got every dinosaur you have in every single park, then how do your parks feel individual or special? You should have to make tough choices about what dinosaurs go into each of these parks before you get to the final ones. ISLA SORNA is, as far as we know, actually the final of the 5 that you unlock. It's the biggest. You're going to have access to every dinosaur probably by that point, if not unlocking the final ones on ISLA SORNA, and that is where you build your big final park filled with all the dinosaurs. It doesn't make sense to be able to have every species of dinosaur on your starter island. It isn't logical, and it would give your islands even more similarity that they would already have, especially if they didn't have set times a day. So I hope that makes sense. It's about giving a little bit of challenge. People have got this idea because JPOG gave us this one massive map, and that's it. It was one fairly dull massive map. That's what we should have again. But this is a campaign game with progression and challenges. It's meant to be a challenge. You're meant to have to fight against the landscape and your own limitations to make a 5-star, 3-star, 4-star, whatever park. Penna is a small island beset by storms, perpetual nighttime. It's meant to be really difficult to get those 3 stars you need to unlock the next island, or the 5 stars you need to unlock Isla Nublar at the end. I hope this is making some form of sense. You shouldn't just be able to open up the first island and make the ultimate Jurassic Park. That is not how the game is going to function, and I realise that people are saying that they want that because that's what JPOG was. You just made one big island and you finished the park. But people have to try to wrap their heads around the idea now of progression, of unlocking the next island and taking that challenge and trying to get 3 stars and unlocking the next island. And your reward at the end is going to be an island big enough to hold every dinosaur. It's going to be a massive island. To prove that, ISLA SORNA in this game, in Jurassic World Evolution, as they've said, is the biggest island. And it's about, I can't remember the exact measurement off the top of my head, but it's bigger, it's slightly bigger than Planet Coaster's map. So that's why we're on Planet Coaster right now. It's also because I want to look at this lovely visitor centre, but we're on it because Planet Coaster's map is fairly ginormous, and ISLA SORNA is bigger. Not much, I believe, but slightly. So, if you sort of zoom out here, right, that right there is Planet Coaster's map. These, you can see these sort of faint green edges here. So we go all the way, let's get up a bit, all the way around here, all the way around here. It's massive, okay? That's the point I'm trying to go. Oh, we can actually go back. It's absolutely gigantic, and it's bigger, all that space there, and the final space you're going to have to work with on ISLA SORNA is actually slightly bigger than that. Now, this doesn't necessarily look that big because I'm zoomed out, but if you zoom back in and consider how large it is and how big an exhibit is, you know, for dinosaurs, we're talking like maybe this sort of area here. Of course, you might have some nice big exhibits filled with herbivores, etc. But generally speaking, your exhibits aren't going to be that big, you know. You're going to have room for all the dinosaurs. You can do whatever you want. I want people, I want people to be open to criticism, be open to new ideas, to say, you know, I think the game has such and such problem. And people do have genuine concerns, which is absolutely fine. But some of them are based on not only limited information, but on not considering why Frontier have done the things they've done. It's just, I want such and such, where is such and such? Without thinking that A, we've only seen the first island, B, you are not meant to be able to fill each island with every single dinosaur in the park, C, the DayNight Cycle is there for the lack thereof is there for such a good reasoning, in my opinion. And D, a fourth, Arsenal. Little joke for you guys there. Lovely stuff. I don't know, guys. It's been the most common comment I've seen on the channel. And the fact is, the later islands are huge. We don't know anything about Nublar. There are rumours at the moment that Nublar is going to be that sandbox island. It could have a DayNight Cycle. We don't know. You know, it's going to be this big thing we're going to unlock at the end of the game. I understand criticism is important, and it definitely is, having that mind to say, you know, there are problems with the game. I have problems with the game. I've talked about them before already. I did a whole video on it. But it's also very important to see that we've only played a development build of the game. There's so much yet to see, so much yet to unlock, so much bigger islands to see, and why they've done these choices in the first place. I just want people to keep that in mind a little bit more. That's all. And I thought it was a good excuse to make a quick little video on it. And we got to look at Planet Coaster, which is lovely looking. Absolutely gorgeous. Very excited. I am super excited about this game. I know that kind of people are like, but you're just really optimistic about the game, that's why you're saying all this. But, I mean, the map is huge. It really is, guys. It's massive. And some of them are going to be tiny. Yeah, Pennet is going to be small. Maybe you'll only have a few exhibits. And the point is, think of the challenge. You have to look at it in a different way than you're looking at it at JPOG. People keep bringing up JPOG as like the comparison. JPOG's map, just having that one map for the entire game, basically, is one of its biggest weaknesses for me. It's a limited, boring map that makes every playthrough of the game look near identical. The variance that Frontier are putting in Jurassic World Evolution, in the map sizes, in the lack of being able to put every dinosaur, in the lack of day-night cycle, is for me one of the more exciting parts of it. And I'm just trying to get across why that is from my own perspective. And hopefully some of you agree, I'm sure some of you don't agree, and that's absolutely fine. But I want to try to get away from people bitching about things they don't necessarily know about. You know, at the end of the day, basing your opinion on the map sizes just on Matt and Saros is silly. It's all I'm saying. It is, because if you don't have all the information, it's hard to make judgments. That's the way it is. But we have a little bit more information now. We know how big ISLA SORNA is going to be. ISLA SORNA is going to be freaking huge, and I'm very excited to build on it. Okay, rant over. That's basically all this video was, but I think it was important. Thank you for joining me for this little discussion. Please do comment down below. I will read the comments. I will try to address concerns and such. And we'll be back tomorrow with the species profile. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, much love, and as always, bye-bye. Quick little shout out at the end. This video and all the others would not be possible without the support of you guys at home, and also all my Patreon supporters who are listed up on the page right now for April 2018. Thank you guys for all the help, and if you want to join in and help me out a little bit, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Thanks for joining me.